It's time to chill out and get ready for a mediocre Q&A live stream. If you're old enough, grab yourself your favorite adult beverage, and if you're not, stick with apple juice. Put your feet up and relax. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. And now let's cue up the intro music. I kind of feel like I just want to let the intro music go on over and over and over again. I don't know if any of you guys that are watching right now saw the link that I posted earlier, but I swear I'm so slow when it comes to this live streaming stuff. And I'd posted a link and then I accidentally clicked go live like 30 minutes before the stream and it just blah. Anyways, hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Nice break. Today was the first day back. It was kind of chaotic for me. Well, just like a cluster of a day, but it's all good. Yeah, hopefully all's going well. I know some of you guys have some crazy cold weather right now. Here in SoCal, it's kind of nice. We had some rain last week, and then it kind of warmed up a little bit. I want to say today was like in the mid to high 60s. And then we're supposed to get a cool down again and get some more rain and stuff, but yeah, it's our winter time, you know. We're wearing beanies and Ugg boots, and you know it's 60 degrees outside. So, but Smith666, I think I see your question right there. I will try to get to that here in a few minutes. Anybody else have any other questions? Be sure to post them in caps lock, okay, in the chat, and then I'll address them as we go. As usual, I have a few things that I want to cover. And then we'll kind of transition into the questions, okay? So don't, if I don't post your guys' question, don't hesitate to post it again. You're not going to piss us off, okay? I'll usually, if I'm not going to answer a question, I'll just say, hey, I'm not going to answer that one, okay? So just, you can keep reposting it. It's all good, okay? I took a little hiatus while I was on Thanksgiving break. I shouldn't even call it break. I just basically didn't post a video for a week. So, you know, I posted a video last night. And it was on an exhaust fan. It was a utility set exhaust fan that was not moving air properly. And we're having some issues with the fan. And it was an interesting one because I really like reading the chat or the comments on YouTube, because I get a lot of people that, more and more people lately, that are commenting and giving their opinion about things. And, you know, it's funny because I get some of the questions are very similar, you know, like repetitive questions like, hey, how come that thing's spinning backwards? It's the camera's frame rate or something like that. Okay. So the wheel's not spinning backwards. I get that one so many times. You guys don't even couldn't even imagine how many times I get that comment, emails, all that different stuff. Okay. But I do appreciate the comments though. And, you know, I have some people that are commenting a few things that are pretty cool ideas and different things to do. So keep it coming, guys. When I post those things, put your input in there. Okay. I have no problem with criticism. If there's something that I did wrong, call me out on it. Okay. Now be prepared for me to rebuttal, you know, and ask you some questions and stuff, but I'm not rude about it. So I have no problem, but I really do appreciate your guys' feedback. Okay. So I want to cover a few topics here real quick. And then, like I said, I'll get to the stuff inside the chat here. One of the biggest questions that I get, and I kind of covered this a little bit on my Saturday stream. I don't know if you guys saw, I did kind of like a bonus Saturday stream, Saturday evening, where I just talked and let people, let viewers come on and talk to me live or whatever. But I'll try to do that a little bit more often. I want to try to keep this stream more of a technical stream on Monday nights, and then maybe, you know, on Sunday or, you know, some other day randomly throughout the week, I'll, you know, do another bonus stream or something. But one of the questions I get a lot is asking me how to learn refrigeration. Okay, this is a really easy one. There's so many different ways to learn refrigeration. Okay, I can't stress enough the book that I preach every single time, Commercial Refrigeration for Air Conditioning Technicians by Dick Wers. You can get this book. There's actually an Amazon link inside the show notes of this video. That's an excellent book, a great starting point. You know, community colleges are a great resource. I kind of mentioned this on the stream on Saturday where I didn't want, I'd hate to see you guys go spend, you know, 18 to 30 grand, whatever it is, on a private education. And I have no problem with people spending money on that stuff, but I'd implore you to look into a community college program, take some night classes, and then if you feel like you're going to get some more benefit from a private college, then go that route, but at least start on the community college level. So if you guys are interested, people that are watching this, I'm sure you guys are all in it, but I mean, I get this question quite often in my videos, but if people are interested in learning about refrigeration, you know, you're going to get a little bit from your trade schools and your community college programs, but nobody's going to give you in-depth refrigeration. Okay. You got to kind of do that research yourself. Where you're going to get it is by reading books like that Commercial Refrigeration for Air Conditioning Technicians. You're going to get it by watching YouTube videos, but you have to be very careful. Don't just listen to some idiot on YouTube right here. Okay. You got to do the research yourself to make sure that the information being given to you is accurate. There is a lot of jokers on YouTube. You got to be very careful. And I'm not going to say I'm a saint. I make mistakes all the time. You can't just say because I saw something in a video that that's how you do it. You got to do the research yourself. Okay. Read the manufacturer's technical data. Look up manufacturers' websites. Okay. You see a common refrigerator, whatever. Look the website up and look at the service department and look at the technical stuff on the website. Every manufacturer has great information on their website. So all you have to do is ask the Google guys. Just do some research and try to figure it out, and you will find all kinds of great information, okay? One of my really good buddies, Mr. Brian Orr, has an amazing website called hvacrschool.com, okay? Go to that website, sign up for his tech tips. He does a podcast. He has YouTube. He goes way more in depth on the stuff than I do. My stuff is service call videos, okay? And then I just share the little bit of knowledge that I have. But Brian, the knowledge that he shares on his website and his content and his platforms is amazing, okay, guys? So check out hvacrschool.com for sure. When you guys go to my YouTube page, if you go to HVACR videos on YouTube, there'll be a tab where it says subscriptions, okay? And it'll show the recommended channels, okay? There's a bunch of channels on there. I just updated it, putting Curious HVAC on there. But there's all kinds of channels that I subscribe to. And then you can also see what I subscribe to also. But the recommended ones are the ones that are pretty good. You got to be cautious about what I subscribe to because I do subscribe to some of the Jokers channels too. So I'm going to let you guys figure that one out on your own. You guys got to kind of do your own research, okay? Let me go ahead and see what we got going on in here. Okay, yeah, I really appreciate it if you guys hit the like button. It definitely helps out the stream, okay? Let's see. You just need a poster of that look behind. I don't know what you're saying there, Justin. I'm going to go into where can I get the EPA 608 exam HVAC kit? That's a really easy one, okay? Go to the ESCO, E-S-C-O. I bet you anything. I'm going to look it up right now. E-S-C-O. I bet you it's a .org. Let's see if it is. No, it's not .org. ESCO.com maybe then. ESCO, E-S-C-O.com. Let's see if that's the right website. ESCO.com. It's ESCO. Look up ESCO on Google. For some reason, my computer's taking forever to search this up right now. But look up ESCO on Google, ESCO. They'll have training resources, and they'll have areas, places that you can go. That they'll have a directory basically that'll direct you on where to take the EPA 608 exam. Okay, so all across the United States, you have to have. It's a federal requirement that you have your Section 608 exam. Or there's a few different ones. 609, I think, is automotive, and I think there's one other one too. But you have to have at least one of those certifications, basically, to be able to handle refrigerants in the United States, okay? Elsewhere in the world, they may have different certifications, okay? Now, then in each different municipality, they may require licenses and different things. I'm in California. You do not have to have any other certifications besides an EPA Section 608 certification to handle refrigerants. Other than that, you can be an HVAC technician, okay? So just look up ESCO, and they'll have all their training information and where you can take the test at. They're a great resource for that, okay? Let me see. Yeah, my bad, Justin. I don't know what you had written there, but all right, let me see if there's any questions in here. Copeland service manuals are a great resource to HVAC Rookie. The Copeland service manuals are amazing. I will say that it is more and more difficult these days to get your hands on the Copeland refrigeration manuals. I'm going to grab one from behind me on my bookshelf here. I got these from when I was in community college, and they are old school resources. It's a Copeland refrigeration manual. I used to have Amazon links in my show notes, but I find that those links have expired and they're not very good links. This is a very old manual. I think it was written in the 60s, guys, but the information is so relevant. If you can get your hands on these Copeland manuals, they are amazing. You might be able to find some stuff on Amazon. If not, I'm sure reach out to someone at Copeland or Emerson. They'll be able to help you out. Maybe the supply houses will be able to help you out. This is a great, great resource for refrigeration and air conditioning. I will still lean on these things to help me with line sizing and different things like that when I can't get the information from the manufacturer. So this is a great resource right here, okay? I always keep those few books up there, great little books. All right. All right, I had a specific question from a gentleman named Zach, and he had asked me about head pressure control valves, okay? So he gave me a little scenario, and I'm kind of just paraphrasing his question and adding some other things in here that I think could be like a great lesson, okay? So he was working on a refrigeration system. He had found a leak, and he charged the system up to a clear sight glass, but the unit had a head pressure control valve. But when it was running, it was 6 degrees ambient temperature outside, so it was very, very cold. So he cleared the sight glass at 6 degrees. But what he noticed, we don't even need to say whatever refrigerant was in the system, because the head pressure control valve had a stamped bypass pressure on it of 180 psi. So disregard what refrigerant it is. At 180 psi for whatever refrigerant was in that system, that head pressure control valve is going to start to bypass. But Zach's problem and his question was, the system was coming down to temperature, but the head pressure control valve was not maintaining 180 psi in the system, okay? It's very important to understand that just because there's a pressure on there that's stamped on the side, the bypass pressure, does not mean that that head pressure control valve is always going to maintain 180 psi. Different refrigerants do different things, but what that means is that that head pressure control valve is going to bypass at 180 psi. So what I instructed him was, in that situation, because he was noticing that his head pressure, if I remember right from the email, it might have been like 130, 140 psi. Again, the refrigerants, regardless, okay, probably R22 from those pressures though. But he noticed that the head pressure was like 130, 140 psi, and he was confused as to why the head pressure control valve was stamped with 180 psi. So again, that's just the pressure at which it starts to bypass, okay? Remember that the head pressure control valve is there to maintain a pressure differential across your expansion valve so that you can pump the refrigerant, you can push the refrigerant through the system, and it can absorb the heat in the evaporator, all that good stuff, okay? But in his situation, I advised him to maybe looking into adding a fan cycle switch to that system too, okay? So that is a common misconception that I do get from a lot of people, is just because it has a head pressure control valve with whatever pressure stamped on the side of it does not mean that it's going to maintain that pressure all the time within the system, okay? So that's a very important thing to understand. As your ambient temperature drops, just bypassing that condenser is not necessarily going to be enough to maintain that head pressure. So You know, he could have other things wrong too, but in some situations when it gets really cold, especially since he had a 6-degree ambient temperature, he may need to add fan cycling to that system too, okay? And mind you, his system was coming down to temp from the email that he gave me, okay? It was just, he was just curious why it wasn't maintaining that pressure. So that's just a little bit of information, okay? Hopefully that helps you guys a little bit. Let's see if I'm missing anything in the question here. Have I tried Cold War from Sporlin? I don't know if I've quite read that book yet. I've read a bunch of Sporlin documents and tech tips. I don't know if I've seen that one yet. Or maybe I have. I don't know. I may not even remember. So let's see what else. Really, really appreciate that. All right. Yeah, definitely, guys. Hit the like button. It really does help out the stream. Is it worth getting to study refrigeration units? What do you mean by that, Jason Albert? I don't know what you mean by that question. You took Nathan Peterson. You said you took all 3 for under $100 from ESCO. Yes. Hey, one thing I will say, guys, there's several different training organizations that give the EPA Section 608 exam. It's very important that you study the manual that comes with. So basically, when you sign up for that exam, you need to study the manual that comes with that. It comes with a study guide, basically. And what I'm getting at is RSES has a 608 test. ESCO has a 608 test. I'm sure there's some other people, too, that have a 608 test. And each one of those tests might be a little bit different, guys. So make sure you read the study guide that comes with the particular test you're going to be taking. It'll help you. In the past, a lot of people ask me, like, hey, what do I pay attention to when I'm studying for the exam? And I've heard mixed results. In the past, when I took it, good gosh, I took that test all the way back in 2002, I think. And the dates were really important back then. But I've heard since from other people that the dates aren't so much important anymore. So I don't know, okay? So I really don't know the answer as to what you need to study. So just make sure you read the study guide for the particular test you're going to be taking, okay? So if you bought it from a supply house, make sure you ask them for the study guide. You know, or wherever you're going to get it from. All right. The EPA, the 608 exam, it really isn't that difficult to take. It's just a matter of reading the information. It's all in the study guide, all the answers. You just got to read it and then you got to retain it and take the test. Okay. I will say, I'm going to knock a bunch of, hopefully the testing organizations don't get angry with me. And I'm going to tell you though, that your section 608, there's some important things in there, but there's some stuff you're just going to throw out the window after you pass the test, okay? Especially the dates. I think the dates, at least when I took it, were the silliest thing in the world. It seemed like they were just filling up the test. The biggest thing is to understand is that refrigerant. Thank you very much for that super chat. I really appreciate that, Joe. It's really important to make sure that you understand that you're not allowed to vent certain particular refrigerants. Again, everything's changing now. Now that we have CO2 as a refrigerant and R290 as a refrigerant, you can vent CO2 and you can vent R290, but you still can't vent R22, 404, you know, all those different refrigerants. So, you know, that's the biggest thing about the test is it's just going to drill into you the rules, you know, and it's going to give you some ideas about what you have to recover, you know, that kind of stuff. It's real simple stuff, all right? But you just got to remember the information and pay attention to it. All right, let's see what else. Let me see. How did I get some of Chris's logos on my name? Oh, 716 Appliance Guy. Okay, so what you guys, if you guys don't already know, I turned on a membership thing on my YouTube channel. And as part of the membership, it's kind of a way to support the channel. I do not require that from anybody. I'm going to continue to do these, okay? But there's a couple different methods that people ask if they can support. You can support me through PayPal. You can support me through a super chat like Jason Yeager just did. Thank you very much, Jason. You can also support me through Patreon, okay? And you can also support me through YouTube membership. So if you go to my YouTube page, there's a little thing that says join. If you click that join, it has all different tiers, I think from $1.99 all the way crazy numbers too. So as a perk, and I'm still working out the whole memberships thing, but as a perk, 716 Appliance Guy, you'll get that little logo next to your name so that way people know that you're a member, okay? So I don't know if someone else answered your question already or if I just scrolled up in there, but that's how you get that little logo. So thank you very much, Jason. I really appreciate it, bud. All right. Let me see what I'm missing. There are too many rookies. Hey, you know, that is kind of funny. I'm noticing that there's a bunch of different guys that have rookie by their name. I find that so comical. Again, not that there's a bunch of guys, but I love that name. rookie refrigeration, rookie air conditioning. You know, I love that the whole idea of a rookie, right? Because we're all rookies, right? It's kind of a funny joke. And in fact, Rookie Refrigeration and I were having a discussion on whether or not he should change his name or not. And I don't think he should, because he's not so much of a rookie anymore. But we're all rookies, guys. Even if we're experienced and we've had 12 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, we're all learning every single day. It's never going to stop, okay? Oh, thank you very much, 716 Appliance Guy. Again, guys, I don't require you guys. It's not something. It does help to support the channel, but thank you so very much for becoming a member, 716 Appliance Guy. You're awesome, dude. And thank you very much, Jeff, the maintenance man, for that super chat, dude. I really appreciate that, bud. All right. Do headmasters modulate, or are they hard off, on, off valves? Dave, that is an interesting question. Okay. I'm going to answer that from my experience, and headmasters modulate. Okay. You can have a headmaster that is not bypassing all the way, dependent on the pressure. Now, I would love, and actually I have the ability, and we will do this. I will get a Sporlan engineer one time, and we will get a Sporlan person on here to answer all of our questions about head pressure control valves, okay? Or headmasters, or LAC valves, or, you know, or whatever you want to call it. But they're essentially all head pressure control valves. Headmaster is actually an Alco trade name, which is now an Emerson valve. But Sporlan makes a head pressure control valve, or an LAC valve, or an OROA valve. They have a couple different types of head pressure control valves. But in my opinion, yes, they do modulate. It's you can have one that's partially bypassing, and then all of a sudden it'll slam shut. Okay. But again, I'd love to get a Sporlan engineer to clarify. I could be completely wrong. You know, we'll have to get them on here and talk about it. So that's something we'll definitely do. And we're also going to try to get a, this is something that we're working on. I guess I can talk about it. We're going to try to get a manufacturer of refrigerants on here. I'm not going to name which one, but you guys can probably figure it out because I'm always talking about them. We're going to try to get a manufacturer on here, maybe get one of their engineers that's really, really smart with all the new requirements and codes and different things with the refrigerants. And maybe we can do a Q&A kind of like I did on Saturday. Maybe we'll do something like that with Sporlan too. Did anybody in the chat watch the Q&A that I did on Saturday, where I had younger people come on, or new people in the trade, and ask questions? What did you guys think of, if any of you watched it in the chat? Was that something interesting? Do you think I should continue to do that kind of stuff, like as a bonus stream where I let people come on and ask questions? I kind of think it's a cool idea, so I'd like to know what you guys think in the chat too. So let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. Email from Ralph. Oh, yeah, Copeland contact. There you go. Oh, yeah, Don. Okay, Don Gillis. Yeah, Don. I think I'm going to be able to meet Don Gillis, too, Ralph, at the HVACR school training event in Florida in February. I believe Don Gillis is going to be there. I believe. I could be wrong. I could be talking out of my ass right now. But, yeah, so I'll get to meet him there, too. But I'll definitely reach out to him. I would like to do the whole bringing more people on every now and then. Again, it won't be replacing this. This will still be the standard Q&A where I just come on and rant and talk about whatever I want. It would be bonus streams, you know, where we schedule it on a Saturday or whatever day, and we try to figure that out. So, yeah, I like to keep my routine of 2 videos a week-ish, right? And educational videos, and then, you know, the streams on the Q&A streams on Monday night, and then maybe bonus streams for the other stuff. That's kind of the idea. So, awesome. Yeah, no, definitely. I'll try to schedule it a little bit more. So, yeah, the interview stuff is definitely something I want to do with the new guys too, talking to them. So, yeah, I'll definitely work on that. So, all right, cool. All right, I want to get to some more questions here. Let's see. It was really cool. Bonus stream. Yeah, cool. Right on. Right on, 716 Appliance Guy. See you later, bud, okay? All right, cool. Let's see. Remember, guys, if you have questions, put them in caps lock, okay? Anybody get the movie yet? I don't know if anybody got the movie yet, the movie quote. All right. I'm looking at my list of here. Okay, one question that I get this one often. So someone actually specifically asked me on my video that I released about the set screws, okay? When I'm adjusting a set screw on a pulley, on bearings or anything like that, okay, I like to set the screw in, and I call it running the screw. Okay, so what I do is I'll snug up the screw by tightening the Allen wrench, and then I back it off, and then I tighten it, and I back it off, and I tighten it. And what you notice, I call it running the screw in, is that you're actually pushing that screw, the set screw into the shaft. You're actually making a groove for it. Okay, so each time when I tighten it, it goes a little bit tighter and it goes a little bit tighter because I'm actually scarring the shaft or whatever, the pulley or whatever, okay? So that was one that I get that actually quite often, people asking me what I'm doing there. It's just a real simple thing that I show in my videos, but I just call it running the screw in, okay? So loosen, tighten, tighten, you know, the third time, and you'll notice every single time it'll go a little bit tighter. So definitely something you want to do. Do I recommend someone going for a contractor's license if they're working 9 to 5? Jesus. You know, Jesus, I'm going to answer that question, and I'm going to ask you a question, or I kind of said this on my stream on Saturday. I'm all for people going and getting their contractor's license and starting their own business. That is amazing if you can get to that point. But please, please, please don't try to start your business if you don't know what you're doing. You do not have any business starting a business straight out of trade school, okay? I'm sorry, but you don't. You need experience. So, Jesus, do I think that someone should get a contractor's license? For sure, if you feel like you're financially ready. Before you start a business, though, what I would highly suggest you do is read up on some business books, okay? Check out my buddy Tersh Blissett on the Service Business Mastery podcast. Just Google search Service Business Mastery podcast. Simple. Ask the Google. And his podcast will come up. Subscribe to that. There's all kinds of great business tips and strategies on how to set up your business properly. And there's tons of books out there too on how to set up a business, how to be prepared, okay? Not only do you need to be financially ready to go for your contractor's license and start a business, but you also need to be technically ready. You need to be a qualified service tech that really knows what they're doing. And I'm not saying that you are not qualified, but I'm just saying in general, I'm answering this for everybody. You definitely want to make sure that you know what you're doing before you even consider starting your business, okay? One of the biggest things about running a business is understanding pricing and how to properly price yourself. I get this question quite often from different people. Hey man, how do I price this? Or I want to make sure, you know, is it a good idea if I price lower than all my competitors? And no, you don't want to lowball everybody. You got to make money. You've got to sell yourself, and you have to get paid properly. You do not want to go in and lowball the industry. Again, I'm going off on a rant that's getting totally separate from this. We'll talk about this more another time. But yes, I think it's a great idea if you're considering going for your contractor's license, to just make sure you're correct, you're prepared for it, okay? So, all right. You broke both sides of your Allen key trying to get the pulley set screw out. Cut the Allen. So take one side of it and cut it with hit it with some Kroll or some penetrating lubricant. And if an Allen key breaks, you just cut it off, and then you have a clean Allen key. And then eventually it'll get so short it won't work. But that's a little tip you could do. So let's see. Let me see. Oh yeah, okay. I see what you're saying there. All right. Any industrial insiders would be cool. Interesting. Okay. Do I recommend? Oh, okay, I already answered that one. Oh, Ice Machine Rookie. Yeah, you had asked me that question. Yeah, the whole heat exchanger thing, man. I mean, if you're not qualified to change the heat exchanger yourself, $540 for a heat exchanger, that actually doesn't sound too bad to me, bud. I don't know what type of unit it is, but you can always get multiple quotes. I would highly suggest you get multiple quotes. And just because, again, I'm not trying to knock anybody's business. I had mentioned this, I think, in the email or on Facebook or something. I told you, Ice Machine Rookie. Oh, maybe on the past stream that I deleted. Find someone that's willing to come out and give you a quote that that's willing to charge you for the quote. And I mean, you get what I'm saying. Like the free quotes, sometimes they're just coming out there to sell you something. So, an honest opinion. But if they show you carbon monoxide numbers or an actual hole, then, there's really no point. You got to change it. So, guys, the Sporlin, apple juice mugs or whatever are still, that thing is still going on, where if you guys, on Facebook or on Twitter, if you take a picture of any Sporlin product, it can be old, it can be used, it could be an expansion valve sitting in your van, whatever, and put the hashtag Sporlin85, you'll be entered into a contest to win these. They have a whole bunch of these, and they're giving them away, I think, till, I don't even remember. I think it's till the end of December or something like that. But check that out, guys. Hashtag Sporlin85, and you guys can still get those mugs. They'll send them out to you guys. So, all right, let's see. Can I explain how a 2-circuit RTU alternates 2 refrigeration circuits? Jesse Torres. So the simplest explanation on a 2-circuit RTU is that the thermostat, okay, RTU is a package unit on the roof, okay? the thermostat is a 2-stage thermostat, all right? And it has some sort of an algorithm built into the thermostat. Depending on the manufacturer, they do different things. Sometimes it's a timed, sometimes it's a temperature thing, but it determines whether or not you need 2 stages of cooling. So let's just say you have a 10-ton package unit on the roof. You'll typically have 2 5-ton compressors, typically, okay? And on a call for first stage cooling, whatever the thermostat's algorithm is, okay, whether it be, again, timed or temperature, it might call for, or on the first stage, it'll call for 1 compressor, okay? Then on second stage, it'll call for the second compressor. Usually it's a timed thing, so if it sees a temperature and the temperature isn't met in a certain amount of time, then it'll turn on the second stage compressor too. And the second stage compressor can turn off at any time when that second stage call goes away, and then maybe just the first stage will still be running, okay? You can also do 3 stages. There's all kinds of different methods, but it's literally just trying not to overcool the building, okay? Because maybe the thermostat set for 74 degrees and it's only 76 in there. And, you know, it might not need 10 tons of cooling to bring it down to temperature. So it'll just run 1, okay? So that way it doesn't overcool the building and freeze everybody out. And then if it feels like it's not getting cold enough fast enough, it'll turn on that second stage too. So hopefully that answers your question there for you, bud. Hey, Yamo, how you doing, bud? All right, which refrigerant is going to replace 404? Hello from Panama. Well, Juan Williams, my buddy Ralph in here, and I'm actually going to take this chance to go ahead and post his email. There's several different refrigerants out there. The most popular refrigerant that's going to replace 404 is going to be R448A, all right? My buddy Ralph from Honeywell, I'm going to post his email right now. You guys can feel free to email him if you have any questions. He has all kinds of knowledge, okay? He works for Honeywell Refrigerants, and he can help you out with the proper refrigerants to use to replace 404, okay? But 404 in general, the most popular refrigerant is 448A, all right? That is the most popular one that is replacing 404. There is other manufacturers that make other refrigerants. I personally am using R448A as my only replacement. I'm not really, because I really don't want to have 50 billion different refrigerants in my truck, okay? So in my truck to this day, I have R22, I have 134A, I have 404A, and I have 448A. I have R290, which is propane. And those are the only refrigerants that I'm using. Oh, 410A. 410A. That's the other one too. Those are the only refrigerants I have in my van. Now, there's some alternative refrigerants, all kinds of different other things. So any of your questions, direct them to Ralph and he'll try to help you guys out, okay? All right, let's see what else I got going in here. Which are better, HVAC kid? ECM motors or 3-phase motors with VFDs? Okay, I'm not a super genius HVAC kid. I have a preference, and my preference is 3-phase motors with a VFD. But with an ECM or a VFD, you have to have power conditioning. I stress about this all the time. You have to have some sort of device that makes sure that you have proper power going to that device, your ECM motor or your VFD, which controls the motor, okay? Power conditioning is the biggest thing. When we have dirty power, we have power spikes, we have different things. Some VFDs have power conditioning built into them, but a lot of the small ones don't, okay? Some ECMs might have some power conditioning built into them. You will typically see an ECM motor on a single-phase application, typically, not always, okay? But you'll typically see an ECM motor on a single-phase application, and you'll typically see a VFD on a 3-phase application. But that's not always 100% for both of those things that I said, so it can change either way, okay? So hopefully I answered that question for you. Ralph, great question. What is the purpose of a liquid or vapor injection in the compressor? Very good question. So Copeland is the most popular scroll compressor out there, and they have a DTC valve. I don't think I have one back here, but the easiest way to explain liquid or vapor injection is to understand how an expansion valve works. This is a thermostatically controlled expansion valve. What it does is it takes liquid refrigerant right through here, and it changes the state of the refrigerant and turns it into a vapor and liquid mixture, okay? So liquid injection or vapor injection essentially is just a fixed or an automatic expansion valve is the easiest way, okay? There's a lot more to it, guys, but if you can just understand it as an automatic expansion valve, all it does is it takes liquid refrigerant on the liquid injection, okay? And it meters it, changes the state of the refrigerant. The refrigerant, when the state is changed, it cools off, right? and it cools the head of the compressor. So that's the whole purpose, let's just say liquid injection, okay, is to cool the compressor off. Because on low temperature scroll compressors and some medium temperature scroll compressors, we have compressor cooling problems, okay? When we have high, what's the right temperature differentials from discharge to suction, okay? All of our compressors are, well, most of our compressors are refrigerant cooled, okay? But when we have a very, very low temp refrigerant coming back, we have hard time cooling off that compressor. And that's why we'll add vapor and liquid injection to try to help to cool the windings of the compressor and keep the compressor discharge below a certain temperature. I believe on the Copelands, about 6 inches away, I think it's like 225 degrees, I believe, is what we want to keep it under. Once you get the refrigerant temperature inside that compressor to get hotter than 200, it's actually the internal temperature of the Copeland compressors is higher than 225, but they tell you 225 on the outside because that's the easiest way to measure it. But what happens is the windings can get damaged, the oil can break down, the internal components of the compressor can have issues basically if it overheats. So we take that liquid injection, DTC valve, vapor injection, whatever, and we inject it into the suction side of the compressor and we cool off the head of the compressor is all that we're doing. Okay, so you see that a lot on the Heatcraft condensing units. They are coming with the capillary tube style liquid injection, and then sometimes on the newer Copeland compressors, they have a bolt-on liquid injection on it too. So really appreciate the super chats coming in. I see those coming in, guys, and I'm sorry I'm not addressing them. Thank you so very much. You guys are amazing. Thanks again, okay? Really appreciate it. Did those VFDs come in for those carriers? No, the customer actually doesn't want to change those on those videos that I made about the carrier VFDs that failed. The customer just wants to leave them alone. So I believe even though they're under warranty, the customer didn't want to put new VFDs on those things. They just want to leave them bypassed. So I just do what I can, you know? All right. I'll get to the chat. Make sure questions are in caps lock, guys, so I can get to them. Really good question that I had from someone about electronic expansion valves, or EEVs. I have an EEV. This is a Sporlan EEV. This is not cut open, but this is a Sporlan EEV. The easiest way to understand an electronic expansion valve is I actually have a discharge bypass valve right here, okay? This is a cutaway of a discharge bypass valve. And the reason why I cut this one away is I use it as my example of an electronic expansion valve. It's very similar, but it has a much bigger port. So this is not an expansion valve that I'm holding, okay? This is a discharge bypass valve. But the easiest way to diagnose an electronic expansion valve, so long as it has a stepper motor, this is a stepper motor style valve, okay, is to use the Sporlan SMA-12. The Sporlan SMA-12 is a stepper motor valve controller. So I can open and close this valve by simply, you guys can't see it, but it's actuating right now. I can feel the valve vibrating. You can feel it going blah, 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 and it's opening, and then we're closing, okay? So the Sporlan SMA-12 is a great device to try to test your EEVs, okay? As long as they're a stepper motor EEV, it doesn't even have to be a Sporlan. It works with many other manufacturers, okay? So that device can test an EEV. It can open it all the way. It can close it all the way. So you can know, okay, the EEV is working. The actuator, the SMA-12 opens and closes it, so that must mean that there's a problem with the controller or something else, a temp sensor or whatever, okay, or control wiring or whatever. But the best way, in my opinion, is to use the Sporlan SMA-12, and it's essentially just a stepper motor. It works with electronic expansion valves. It works with discharge bypass valves. Any type of a valve that has a stepper motor on it, that SMA-12 can open and close it. You guys can Google the Sporlan SMA-12, and I'm sure they'll help you out with where to get it and all that good stuff. So. Slay Nader, it says, would I recommend the Sporlan smart probes over another brand or model? I got to be completely honest with you, bud. I do not own the Sporlan smart probes. Are they called the Sporlan smart probes? I don't know what they call them, but I do not own them. One of these days I will buy them. I actually need to. I probably owe that to Sporlan to buy those so I can test them out. I have heard amazing things from the highest resource in HVAC, which is Jim Bergman, and he swears up and down that the Sporlan smart probes have the best temperature compensated pressure sensors in the market right now. Okay. Personally, I have the Field Piece Job Link probes and I love them, but I have heard nothing but good things about the Sporlan Smart probes. Again, is that what they call them? I don't know. But anyway, so I can't say good or bad about the Sporlan probes. I'm sure they're amazing, but I can't say whether they're for sure the best. Okay. So I do owe that to them. I'll definitely do that. I am also, guys, I've kind of mentioned this back and forth a bunch of times, but I decided to go ahead and do it. I have another YouTube channel. Okay. It's not even, it is public. It's called HVACR Tools. And I am going to start posting on that. Okay. Because I don't want to blow up my HVACR videos channel with tool reviews. Okay. So I am going to start doing tool reviews on my other channel. Okay. So I'm working on it right now. I had mentioned on my social media that I was testing out a bunch of different pants, work pants. Okay. I've been testing them out for a while. I made a decision on which ones were my favorites. I have a whole bunch of them. I think I bought 5 or 6 different types of brands, and then I've just been testing them out for a couple months now. And I came up with a conclusion, and I'm going to make a video about it. I'm going to put that on the other channel. Same thing with, I have actually, I don't know if you guys can see these in the background. Hold on. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about thermal imagers. So I have the FLIR C3 thermal imager. I have the FLIR 1 Pro, which connects to the camera, thermal imager. And I have the Seek Shot Pro thermal imager. 3 different thermal imagers. I'm going to be testing them. And again, I'll be posting them on my other channel. Again, I don't even have any videos on that channel, guys. I don't think I do. I don't know. It's not something I've really talked about to many people, but I will start doing that. And I'll start doing tool reviews on there, and I'll be talking about different things. So maybe I'll pick up the Sporlan Smart probes and I'll test them on there too. So just pay attention to that. I'll share it all on social media, and I'll link the channel and everything later. It's not even worth linking right now. I could just tell you the channel's called HVACR Tools. That's enough. But I will be promoting that and doing all that different stuff. So I'll start doing tools on that. But I don't want to crowd this channel. I want to keep this channel the same way that it is, with just the service call videos, and I decided to do the other channel too. So you'll see that coming in. Let me see what else I'm missing here, guys. Oh, right on there, HVACR vlogger Ernesto, my buddy. Ernesto has a YouTube channel too. He does service call videos. His name is HVACR vlogger on here. Ernesto, is that your channel name? Hold on. I'll pull up your channel right now. Ernesto's, yeah, it's HVACR vlogger. It took me a second to realize. I'm subscribed to his channel too, but check out Ernesto. He has some pretty cool service call videos. He works up in Northern California. I'm in Southern California, so check out Ernesto's channel too. Definitely a good one to check out. So let me see what else I'm missing. Do I know if it's a mechanical code to have both supply and return ducts have smoke detectors, or just return ducts? Sean Mack. That is actually... it depends on the city that you're in. Every different city or every different municipality has a different rule about return and supply duct detectors, okay? The mechanical code, as far as I know, just says that you have to have a duct detector, and I think, again, I'm quoting this off the top of my head. I could be wrong, but I think it's over 2,000 CFMs. I could be wrong, but I think it's 2,000 CFMs or bigger. You have to have some sort of a duct detector on the commercial stuff. But again, I'm not real smart with the code. But I know for a fact that it changes from municipality to municipality whether or not you have to have a return and supply, or both, okay? Because I've seen so many different ones where you only have one in the return or one in the supply, or both. So it really depends. Let me see what I'm missing here. Okay, cool. How much can a good installer make a year, and or service tech a year, Jesus? It really depends, Jesus. It depends on the market that you live in. So here in Southern California, again, I only work in the commercial side. I don't do any residential work, okay? I know for a fact that as a service technician here in Southern California, if you're doing light commercial refrigeration with restaurants, you can make, if you're an experienced service technician, you can make anywhere from about $25 an hour to about $35, $38 an hour. Anything past $35 to $38 an hour, you're going to need to go into a supervisor position, okay? And that's on the commercial refrigeration, air conditioning, restaurant side, okay? As far as residential technicians, installer technicians versus service technicians, I honestly can't quote the amounts as to how much you would make, but I will tell you that it's going to change from Southern California to Northern California, from California to air. It's going to change for every state. So it really is based off of the cost of living and different things like that. So any commercial unit has to have a duct detector. That's an interesting thought there. Fly, Eagles, fly. Okay. That's, again, I don't know if it's any commercial, but yeah, I guess it makes sense, right? Because on the commercial side, they want to have some sort of duct detection. So sorry, bear with me. Let's see. Zach is saying 2000 CFM return side before outside air. Okay. Yeah, good. So Zach's another channel, guys. I'm sure you guys already subscribed to Zach's channel, but the Tradesman Shop Talk channel, definitely check that out. Justin will throw some links into Zach's channel coming up here in just a second if you're still watching. Zach does videos multiple times throughout the week, and then he also hosts the HVAC Overtime on Friday nights. Zach's channel is awesome, so check it out. Zach's a very knowledgeable person. Look at Jason Albert's question above. Let me see if I can find Jason Albert's question, and I will try to get to it. I'm looking for it right now. Why is my question disappearing? I see that from Jason Albert. Let me see. It's not your question disappearing, bud. Let me go back up here. And Jason Albert, I see there. I need to find a way to look up stuff. These streams need to get a lot easier to do stuff, man. Jason, is it really? For some reason, I'm not seeing your question here, bud. I'm looking all the way up. I'm way up now. I'm not seeing your question, Jason. Can you post it again, Jason? I'm sorry, bud. I don't know if you can post it again. For some reason, I didn't see it. Sean Mack, to the best of my knowledge, do low temp scroll compressors need liquid injection? Yes, they do. Low temp scroll compressors need liquid injection. Okay. You definitely need it. So yeah, don't try to cut it out. They should have it. Most scroll compressors are going to have a DTC valve if it's a Copeland one. Very important to help with that. Let's see what else. Let me see what else I got in here. See if I'm missing. I'm sorry if I missed your question. Let me see. Can I explain how unloaders work in a compressor? Poncho. Okay, I'm not super smart with the unloaders, but it's a basic concept in that it basically blocks off. It's like staging the compressor. That's the easiest way to explain it, okay? In the past, we would have a 10-ton compressor, and we would have an unloader on there, and where it would basically shut off a couple of the pistons, okay? So only half the compressor would be running. That's the easiest explanation for an unloader. Again, I don't really work with unloaders very much, but I understand the concept. So it's like having two compressors in one unit, and you can basically shut off half of the compressor. That's the easiest way to understand the unloaders, okay? Let me see what I'm missing here. Let's see. Just trying to get to these questions. Jason, walk-in freezer with the receiver. Headmaster and fan cycling in the winter. How do you know if you're charging properly? Added 12 pounds seems weird. Jason, okay. So what I want you to do, if you have a head pressure control valve, hoping that it's a Sporlan head pressure control valve, but if not, you still can use this same calculation. I want you to Google search the Sporlan method 90-30-1, okay? All you got to do is Google search Sporlan 90-30-1. I guess I should preface that with saying you have to have a tube and fin condenser. That Sporlan 90-30-1 method will not work on a microchannel condenser, okay? Microchannel has a different method of determining the winter charge or the flooded charge. But on a Sporlan, a standard tube and fin condenser, what you're going to do is the Sporlan 90-30-1 method, and I actually have a video on it where it explains it, okay? Is you're going to calculate the internal volume of the copper lines in the condenser, and you're going to determine how much you need, how cold your ambient is. And there's a really easy calculation. You just input a couple numbers and make a couple measurements, and it's going to tell you how much extra refrigerant you have to add to the system for it to operate properly. Okay, that's the easiest method. Some manufacturers will tell you that what you can do is just put the maximum amount of refrigerant in that condensing unit. Okay, it's also possible to figure that out. You can lean on the manufacturer. Most of the time, like Heatcraft, for instance, will publish with a particular condensing unit, or you can call technical support, and they'll tell you with that condensing unit, the maximum amount of charge in that system is whatever it is, 14 pounds, you know, whatever it is. And what that is that's assuming that the receiver is, they actually lean on the high side, 90% full. But most of the time, it's safe to say that if you fill the system up, pumped down, if you can determine the liquid level on the receiver, you can charge it to 3/4 of a receiver, and that's the maximum amount of refrigerant you can put in that system, okay? So if you're working on a heatcraft unit that has a microchannel condenser, the manufacturer is going to tell you to put the maximum amount of refrigerant in the system. If you're working on some sort of other system, you could figure out a way to pump the system down and check the liquid level in the receiver. Okay, I have some other videos and talking about that too. Or the best way is to lean on Sporlan and look up the Sporlan 90-30-1. That's the easiest method. You do a couple measurements on that tube and fin condenser. You calculate the internal volume of whatever line size that is. It'll give you a calculation and tell you to add this much refrigerant, okay? So that's the best way to charge a system with a head pressure control valve. I don't know what system you're working on, but you had put 12 pounds. That doesn't sound crazy for like a two horse, 3 horse condensed unit. 12 pounds, that doesn't sound horrible, so long as the receiver is big enough for the system, okay? All right, let's see what else we got. How fast can an exhaust fan spin? That's the question. How fast can it spin? It really depends. The manufacturer has a set speed at how many CFMs of air and how fast that motor can spin, okay? And if you go over the maximum speed at what the manufacturer says, the exhaust fan can start to come apart. So once it gets spinning so fast, there's a lot of force pushing on that wheel, and it'll actually explode or implode on itself, okay? So you want to make sure that you don't overspin an exhaust fan. Now, I will say in the past, it was very difficult to make an exhaust fan spin too fast. But recently, a lot of manufacturers have been oversizing their equipment, then putting a VFD on it, and then throttling the fan down with the VFD. I have since found on some exhaust fans, some manufacturers, that they come shipped from the factory at a really slow speed on the VFD. And if you speed it up past that point, you could actually be running that fan too fast. So they give you the ability to do that with VFDs now. So you got to be very careful. So you have to pay attention to the manufacturer's recommendations on how fast that fan should be spinning. Your fan itself, though, it's not a matter of just speeding up the fan. You got to pay attention to the air balance requirements, okay? That building has to have a proper air balance. It has to have the perfect amount of exhaust and the perfect amount of makeup air. And if you have too much exhaust, your building will go negative. If you have too much makeup air, your building will go positive. If you go positive, you push the conditioned air out of the building. If you go negative, you pull the unconditioned air in the building. So you have all kinds of problems there. So you got to be very careful and make sure that you're not just speeding up an exhaust fan and winging it, okay? I did show myself speeding up an exhaust fan, but that was to compensate for a failed utility set fan, basically. And I did wing it. I took a big guess and said, hey, we need to speed this thing up just to get you through. And that's what I did for the customer, so. What's the highest horsepower compressor I've ever worked on? Your job has 800 horsepower compressors. Scott Savage, I work on the small stuff, bud. 5 horsepower and below. Nothing bigger than 5 horsepower. Yeah, so I don't work on the big stuff at all. Let me see what else. Do I have experience working on twin compressors? I've worked on a few, Chris Cooley. So are you talking a parallel compressor system where there's 2 compressors and 1 common suction header or common suction line? I have, in the past, I've had some York units that had twin compressors or parallel compressors. I've had some Train and Telepack units that had parallel compressors. I've had a refrigeration system that had a parallel compressor. I don't do a lot of them where they have a common suction, but yeah, I have. The biggest thing when you're dealing with a paralleled compressor or common suction compressor setup where you have multiple 3, 4, 5 compressors is oil maintenance, making sure that you have the proper oil system set up. When you get into multiple compressors, you will typically have oil devices on there that'll sense the oil levels to make sure that each compressor always has the right kind of oil. And I should have said oil management is the biggest thing when you come to parallel compressors and different things like that. So let's see. Yeah, okay. So I actually just got an email, Ike. I don't know if you're in here or not. Someone named Ike had emailed me about a Discord server. I am super new when it comes to this technology and this streaming stuff, and that's something that I figured out is like a Discord server is a way for everybody to chat separate from like the YouTube chat. And yes, I'm working on setting that up. I just got an email. That's why I'm answering his question. So I will be working on a Discord server. I actually have one. It's under HVACR videos, but there's nothing on it yet. I'm still trying to figure out how it works and everything. Again, I'm so like overwhelmed with this whole streaming thing and this whole, it's just so weird to me. So I am working on it. If anybody has any advice on setting up a Discord server, good things, bad things, send me an email to hvacrvideos@gmail.com. I'm really looking for help when it comes to setting and fixing this stream and making it better. My gosh, I use Streamlabs OBS, and they changed something, and it's supposed to make their whole streaming setup better. And today I clicked a button that I normally click, and it started my stream a half an hour early, and it just like flustered the hell out of me. So. All right. Let's see. Yeah, it's that time again. Hold on just a second. Getting some apple juice going on here. Please don't overflow. All right. Apple juice is refilled. Let me see what else we got going on here. Have I worked on any V compressors? What do you mean by V compressors, Ice Machine Rookie? I don't know if I've ever heard the term V compressors. Chris and Speedo, what the hell did I just read? I stepped into a conversation that I don't even know what the hell that is, Rookie Refrigeration. Why did I see Chris and Speedo? The only reason I would own a Speedo is just to irritate my kids. I don't own a Speedo. So, can I explain what cascade systems are in just a simplified version of how they work? Lorenzo Lares, if I pronounced your name correctly, hopefully. So, general synopsis of what a cascade system is. Typically, it's a system that has, well, there's two different types of cascade systems that I know of, okay? It's most of the time in an ultra low system, or in a system where we need to control a set temperature and not vary from that temperature. So it's either ultra low or a set temperature. And on some cascade systems, what they will have is they will actually have two condensing units, where one condensing unit's evaporator will actually be the condenser of the other condensing unit. I know, mind blown, right? There's also another type of cascade system, which they technically don't call this a cascade system, but it's also, and what they have is they have multiple refrigerants in the system, and each refrigerant will perform differently at each condensing temperature change. So it's also another thing too, where they can have one refrigerant work and do its work at one temperature and then change too. I'm not super smart with the cascade systems, but that's what I have, the little bit of knowledge that I have about a cascade system. Okay, so I did do just the tiniest bit of scientific work, but I never got into cascade systems. I just worked on medical refrigerators, and I think there might have been one cascade system I think that they asked me to work on one time, and I just told them to call a scientific company because I wasn't qualified to work on that stuff. So, all right, let's see what else. What is the purpose of liquid or vapor injection in low temp? Ralph, I kind of already answered that, but it's on low temperature compressors. It's to cool the compressor off. Okay. So basically they take liquid refrigerant. It's like an expansion valve. They cool off the suction gas. It basically injects vapor refrigerant into the suction, just like there's already suction, but it injects colder refrigerant into there. It's because there's issues with compression, high compression ratios when you get really low temp. So, oh, got you. No. Bill, I'm going to kick your ass if I start getting pictures of dudes in Speedos. Dude, I swear, I'm going to send everyone to your text. I'm going to text you every single picture of a dude in a Speedo that I get, Bill. If I start getting pictures of dudes in Speedos, oh, hell no. That's funny. All right, let's see what else. Have I ever popped oh, come on, Fluffy. I'm not going to answer that one. Come on. I have had someone when I was very young in the trade, though, Fluffy. I have had someone. It was a female waitress, and she used to leave me notes in my tool bag, and I was really young, so I was kind of almost embarrassed by it. I was like, "Why is this person leaving me notes?" And it was like, "Call me," and then call me. This is so many years ago. Nobody would leave me a note nowadays because I'm an middle-aged old man. But yeah, that was pretty funny. All right, what's the purpose? I already answered that question. What is my favorite apple juice brand? Mott's apple juice. Come on, dude. What's my favorite brand? No, tonight I am drinking Oktoberfest. from BJ's restaurant. I really like BJ's restaurant. They have their own brew. It's Oktoberfest. That's my thing right now. I like the Oktoberfest beers. So apple juices. My bad. All right. Let me see. Speedos away, bastards. I better not get my email blown up with Speedos. I'm gonna kill Bill. I'm not gonna tell you my email, Myko Bemko. I'm not gonna make it that easy. Damn Nightbot. Justin, come on. Oh, that's funny. I'm gonna post them all. All right. Have you ever used the new Sporlan Zoom Lock Ice Machine Rookie? No, that's another thing that I've never used is the Sporlan Zoom Lock. Never used it. Haven't had a need for it yet, but I definitely will. All right. I'm going to get to a couple more questions here. Oh, really good point that someone had made. You guys realize that when I make my videos, I do take a lot of shortcuts when I'm doing my service work, or I do things in my head that I don't necessarily show in my videos, okay? So the exhaust fan with the smoky kitchen complaint that I just posted, someone had posted a really good point. One of the number one things that causes smoke issues in kitchens that have exhaust fans is obviously a loose belt, okay? The next thing is dirty filters. We have grease filters that are supposed to trap the grease before it goes up to the roof so that way it doesn't blow grease all over the place and become a fire hazard. I do not do a good job of showing that I'm checking the grease filters in my videos. That's a very important thing that you need to do is make sure that you're checking grease filters, all right? Grease filters get plugged up quite often. A lot of times they're not taken care of by the customer. They need to be cleaning grease filters on a weekly basis, no joke, okay? I did check the grease filters in my recent video. My particular customer actually has a special machine that cleans their grease filters every single night, so I know they do a really good job of cleaning their grease filters. But that is something very important if you guys are working on restaurants and exhaust fans that you need to be checking when you have exhaust fan issues. Check the belt. I usually start with the grease filters, to be honest with you, because you're already downstairs before you go on the roof. So walk downstairs, talk to the manager, check the grease filters, pull them out, look at them. Oftentimes, some brands of grease filters can be plugged up and you don't even know it. So you need to understand how a grease filter works. It's usually a baffle that stops the grease and it gets caught in a trap and it collects in the bottom of the hood, okay? So very important that you check the grease filters before you start working on an exhaust fan. So that's something very important that was pointed out. That was a comment. So again, guys, give me feedback. That kind of feedback was really good because I didn't think anything of it. I checked the grease filters. I just didn't show it in my video. Very important that I mention that stuff. So very important. Okay. Let's see if I'm missing anything inside here. Yeah. Some of the Oktoberfest apple juices are really good there, Scott. So, and they're seasonal, so they're not coming, you know, they're going to go away real soon. All right. Let's see what else. Let me see. Damn it. My email is going to get so blown up. There is a company that just cleans filters and swaps them out. Yeah, there is here locally. There's a dude that drives. It's a company. I'm sure not just one dude. And all that they do is they go to like small mom and pop restaurants and they just swap out hood filters. So they bring clean filters with them. They take the dirty ones and they leave. And then they go to the next restaurant and they just go around, just kind of like the knife sharpener dudes. They just go around swapping grease filters to make sure they're clean. That's a whole money-making thing. That's a totally skillless job that you could probably make decent money from. So not knocking anybody. Thank you very much for the super chats. I think I already thanked you guys. Yeah. So appreciate that. I see them pop up and I always got to remember to thank people. Ernesto, you said back at your old company, you took care of the Habit burger and we would have at least 5 service calls a month just because they didn't wash them filters. And the Habit uses a lot of captive air exhaust fans from my understanding, talking to the captive air people. Yeah, the Habit has a lot of captive air. What brand do I prefer for coil cleaner on evaporators and condensers? That's a really easy one, Lorenzo, and that's Refrigeration Technologies. They make their Viper HD cleaner. It's super safe for different metals. It's good on evaporators and condensers. They also have an evaporator cleaner. And then the Refrigeration Technologies, they also have a Viper Brite, Brite cleaner. And that's kind of like the new Calgon blue crap that'll clean anything. Okay, so I really like the Refrigeration Technologies products. They make a great leak detector fluid. They make all kinds of different Nylog. They make coil cleaners. Refrigeration Technologies has amazing products. I have no affiliation with them. I just love their products, so I love to talk about their stuff. So Um, let me see. Refrigeration technologies for everything. Thank you, Michael Bemko, for sure. All right. Yeah, definitely sounds like a stress-free job. So food safe too. Yeah, food safe is a very vague thing. It's food safe, meaning that you can work on it in a kitchen, but if you pour it on the food, someone will die. So food safe is a weird term. But yeah. Let me see. Did anybody get a good deal on tools for Black Friday? I did get a good deal. Screw it. I have no affiliation with them. Oh, wait, no, it already ended. Ha, never mind. I can't say that one. There was an offer code for TrueTech Tools, but it ended. It was for 10%, but it ended. So I should have shared it before. But yeah, you can use my buddy Zach's offer code with TrueTech Tools. It's called Shop Talk, and you'll get 8% off of anything that you buy from TrueTech Tools. And then I believe they have some Black Friday deals on the Testo products and stuff going on. So, but yeah, I didn't get any amazing deals for tools. I bought all those thermal imagers, but they weren't Black Friday deals or anything. So, what's my most liked refrigerant overall? R22, medium temp, high temp. I never used R22 for low temp, so medium temp and high temp. I came in at the tail end of the phase out of R12. I know a lot of people, have given the opportunity, they would say R12 was the best refrigerant, but I worked with a lot of R22. R22 was really good for me and really popular, really easy for me to use because it was easy to change a condensing unit and an expansion valve and put it in an R12 system. It was super easy. But yeah, most favorite refrigerant R22. But again, that's being phased out. So, 404 became really popular, but 404 is being phased out. 448A is the new one that I'm using, and it's working fine. Just a couple different steps you got to follow. So, all right. Any good deals? Oh yeah, I don't know any online tools for sure. As a non-union or non-HVAC guy, how much do I have? Wait, how much do I have in tools? Okay, so I'm assuming you're asking me how much money I have spent in tools. So I think I have a skewed number, but I mean, just my iManifold kit alone is $3,500. And I don't even use the iManifold kit anymore. It sits in a backpack. I think I just finally took it out of my van and it's sitting in my garage. $3,500 in tools, just the iManifold stuff. That's a digital pressure gauges and different things. But I would say on average, most HVAC technicians probably have around somewhere. It's probably a pretty big number, $2,000 to $5,000 of their own tools. Now it depends on service companies too. So like I'm a service business owner, and we provide the big tools to our own technicians. Now I know other parts of the country, technicians have to buy their own recovery machines. So we provide those to our techs. So our techs only have to bring hand tools and a cordless drill basically and a set of gauges. So, but yeah, I would say the number, the price amount is anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 would probably be an average number for the amount of money that service technicians have invested in their tools. So my number is probably stupid expensive. Ridiculous, because I'm obsessed with this, and so this is kind of like my hobby. You guys understand that like these whole YouTube videos that I started doing, that was a hobby. I started investing in putting a computer and buying a fancy computer and streaming stuff and all that stuff, making videos. That was a hobby before it was even doing anything for me. So I put a crap ton of money in that. In these videos alone, I have so much stupid money involved. It's ridiculous, but I enjoy it. So it's my hobby again, When someone asks me, what do I do on the weekend? I work on a video. I really don't have a life. I mean, I have a family, but I really don't have a life outside of HVAC. My life is HVAC. I live, breathe, sleep. What do I do on the weekends? I watch the HVAC Overtime show on Friday. I watch Zach's live streams during the week. I watch Curious HVAC Guy. I watch HVAC Our Vlogger. I watch, oh, shoot. Dang it. I'm already messing up on some of my buddies' channels, too. I watch my other buddies' channels. Just look at my subscribe list. I'm sorry. I'm totally forgetting other channels, too. But I watch YouTube videos and stuff. So I have no life besides HVAC. So, all right. Let me see. All right. I'm going to get to another question here. Okay. So question that I had is, are there specific schools for HVAC? Are there specific schools for refrigeration? Where does that go? I'm going to tell you that most of the schools are not going to dive super deep in any one subject, okay? Most of the trade schools out there are going to be a general trade school. It's going to cover residential. It's going to really focus on residential and light commercial, and it's going to dabble in refrigeration, most HVAC schools, okay? But you guys are going to have to do the research yourself to kind of look a little bit more, finding things like the Copeland manual. Guys, this is the easiest manual to understand refrigeration, and it was written in the 60s, okay? The commercial refrigeration for air conditioning technicians. Easiest thing in the world. You guys got to do the reading yourself. You guys have the ability and the information at your fingertips. All you got to do is ask the Google. Just type in refrigeration training into Google. It'll ask. Really appreciate the super chat there, Justin Reed. Thank you very much, bud. That's awesome. Thank you so very much. Again, you guys don't need to send me super chats, but the ones that do, I really, really appreciate it, okay? Justin, I'll definitely try to get to your email. I just opened it right now. There's a lot of information there, so I'll read it as soon as the stream is over. So let me see what else we got going on here. All right, cool. All right. That's why we love this channel. We eat and breathe HVAC. Definitely, right? We're dorks, right? We're HVAC nerds. So, oh, really good question. And this is a really, really good one. And this is more of a personal question. Someone said, why am I not air balance certified? Because I mention that all the time in my videos. You know, I'm not air balance certified, but I know enough about balance to get in trouble. I say that all the time, right? That has been something that I've always wanted to do. I am hungry to buy air balance tools. I want a flow grid for testing exhaust fan hood filters to make sure we've got proper airflow across them. I want a flow hood to test commercial HVAC systems. I want to get certified in air balance, commercial air balance. It's just something that I haven't made a priority. That is probably one of the next things on my list to make a priority. I have enough things that I have going on, especially with this YouTube thing going on and stuff, but I will definitely make that a priority. It would be nothing but smart to get air balance certified. But here's the thing. The amount of tools that I would have to buy to become an air balance to do proper air balances, right? A flow hood and some I can't even think of the right name for them, but some flow grids that work with the flow hood to test air balance or to test exhaust fans and different things like that. I would have to spend, $3,000 to $5,000, and I'm not going to recoup that cost very much. So that's going to be one of those things. That's one of the things that's kind of held me back from buying those tools over the years, is it's hard to justify the expense, but I am definitely interested in buying those tools because I just want to be able to test some certain things out. So it's something that I constantly want to do. I just haven't made it a priority, and I'm probably going to do that in the next couple of years, get a real air balance certification and be able to understand that side of the trade. You know, the person that had emailed me about that, they were asking and, saying like, hey, this seems like a very lucrative thing. You could make money. It's kind of hard to make money in that stuff because I don't see my business going down the air balance side. I mean, I guess it's always possible, but the problem is that I'm limited by technicians that work for me. And I have great technicians working for me, but it's hard to find qualified service techs these days, and it's hard to find someone that's new guys coming in, right? It's hard to find more work. We're busy enough with what we have, so to try to teach someone else air balance, we would almost have to hire someone that's a certified air balance person and then take on the work from there, and then I got to keep them busy. It's a whole, like, balance thing you got to do with a business, so. All right, let's see what I'm missing in the chat right now. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see any questions. I just look for caps lock, and I'm not seeing any questions. You guys have more questions, throw them in the chat. I'll definitely try to get to them. Really appreciate everybody that's come in here today. You guys are awesome. And let's see. Yeah, my chat's moving really fast right now, so. Ray, it definitely would be good to start my own air balance company. But again, it's just finding the work, keeping busy with that kind of stuff. It's hard enough. Today was such a stressful day at work, just dealing with what we had going on. And I wish I could tell you some of the stuff that I have in my head, but I can't tell you guys. But the crap we go through as a business owner just drives you freaking bonkers. So I can't alienate people and it would just cause problems, but I just want to tell you guys, I swear that I would have the most interesting YouTube channel if I could just video my everyday life. That's about as much as I can say. So, have I done residential work in the past? No, Bernardo. I've never done residential work. I can certainly do residential work. I'm not going to say that I can be a great installer, but I could figure the residential side out, but I don't do. I deal with commercial only, so that's all I've ever done. Let's see what else. You had a lot of brazing on a Hoshizaki last Friday, Ace Machine Rookie. Right on, bud. Yeah, changing some valves and different things. Definitely. iPhone versus Android. I'm an Android person. I don't allow iPhones in my house. I joke with my family saying we're not an Apple family. Our whole company's Android just because it's so much more easier to have Android apps, especially when we started. Nowadays, iPhone and Apple products are becoming more and more popular, and you can get a lot of different apps for HVAC. But in the beginning, it was always like I had to make a choice, Android or iPhone, and I chose Android because the apps were more tailored for the construction industry and HVAC on the Android side. But again, nowadays it's so easy, and I would even argue that some of the Apple apps are even better. But yeah, I'm an Android person, so. Worst manager horror stories. Whew, man, I can't even touch that one because I get in trouble for saying what I have to say. What is my favorite brand of ice machine for ease of repair and diagnostics? My favorite brand of ice machine is Hoshizaki. My second favorite is Manitowoc. So, do I have a dress code for my techs? Any opinions on shorts, t-shirts, visible tats? Visible tattoos have no, it doesn't matter. We can have tattoos. I'm not worried about tattoos. We have to wear pants. We have to wear steel toe boots. As a service company, we provide our technicians with shirts, jackets. Well, actually, we're just getting jackets for everybody, but we provide them with shirts. We require them to bring their own pants and their own steel toe boots, and that's pretty much our dress code. So we just give them a shirt that says our service company name and their name. They can choose long sleeve or short sleeve, but they have to wear pants. So, and again, for the people that just came in, I will announce it later, but I did start another YouTube channel. I haven't posted any videos on it yet. It's called HVACR Tools. I'm going to start it off with, I'm reviewing a bunch of different pants. I bought a bunch of different brands of pants, did a poll on my YouTube channel asking for the most popular brands, picked the ones out of that met my criteria, bought like 5 or 6 different pairs. I've been testing them out for about a month. I'm going to post a video about that. I'm going to post a video about all these different thermal imagers I have sitting right here. I mentioned this earlier. I have the FLIR 1 Pro, I have the FLIR C3, and I have the Seek Shot Pro. That's another thermal imaging camera. I'm going to review those too. My YouTube channel, again, I haven't announced it yet, but I mean, I guess I said it on the stream, but it's called HVACR Tools. I'll be promoting that soon, and I'll be doing reviews on different tools. We're going to keep it separate from this channel, so that's just for the new guys that are watching this. So, Ice Machine Rookie, you have a Chromebook that you take with you on the job. Go right on, man. How was the HVAC Expo? It was all right, Ernesto. It was nothing amazing, dude. The one in February is going to be huge. The AHR show, that's going to be the big expo to go to. The iHacky show locally, it's cool. Nothing amazing. Oh, Ernesto, I think I saw like on social media that your service manager was there, huh? I didn't see him, but I took a picture with HVAC Reefer guy. I had ran into him at the show, and I know your service manager had done that too. All right. As a business owner, why do I think it's so hard to find qualified help? That's a really easy one. It's because the baby boomers and whatever the generation that my parents are, because I don't think my dad's a baby boomer, is he? No, my dad is 56, I think. He was born in 64, so whatever that is. But anyways, the new generations of people push their kids away from hard work and push them into more technical. And that's the biggest thing causing the skills gap in our trade. We don't have enough young blood coming in. Now, lately, in the last couple years, we've had an influx of young blood, but it's hard to get them trained up. So a lot of people think that you can't make very good money. People look down on a blue collar job. They don't understand that you can make $100,000+ working in HVACR. Yeah, you're going to have to work your ass off. You're going to have to get into management and different things like that. But you can make a very good living working in HVACR. And, there's all different facets. You don't have to just work on restaurants like I do. You can get into one little technical niche or whatever. You can get into all kinds of stuff. So I just think that we just have a skills gap because a lot of people thought that hard work, plumbing, electricians, HVAC, that kind of stuff, that they felt like, it was just blue collar work and it was just too hard. So a lot of people push their kids into the younger, the computer crap and stuff like that. And then we have a lot of unemployed computer technicians. HVACR, I have to say, is probably one of the more difficult ones to get into and to be proficient in because you have to be a plumber, you have to be an electrician, and you have to be an air conditioning technician all in one. You have to understand all three of them. So there's facets of everything that you have to understand. So it's definitely a technical, but it's very rewarding, and I love it. So one of the things that I want to do, and again, it's another goal of mine, is I want to get involved. I want to go to the high school. I want to go to the local school districts and start talking to them about setting up HVAC programs, because I want to get kids coming from high school interested in this and not just grabbing them in the college level. I want to get them younger before they go to a 4-year university and spend, $200,000 to get a degree in liberal arts, and then they're in debt for the rest of their life working at Starbucks, when they could, spend just a few $1,000 getting an HVAC degree and make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So, all right, let's see. Face tats, I don't know about that one, but Will Spear, right on, man. Thanks, man. Hawaii, appreciate that. But I have a couple of viewers in Hawaii, so very cool. Look me up at the AHR show. I will definitely, Ralph. I won't miss you, bud. I'll make for sure, I'll connect with you at the HR show, Ralph. In fact, we'll schedule a time or something like that when I don't know if you'll be at a booth. I'll email you, Ralph. We'll talk about it. So, so let us know. Like to be the first LO. Oh, right on, Ray Ray. Yeah, you guys can Google it. You guys can look up the channel. It's called HVACR Tools. Just like HVACR videos, it's HVACR Tools. You guys can go find the channel right now. It's just, I think you might find one video on there that I released a couple years ago, but I never really went hard on that channel. But I'm going to start working on it for sure. So, Ronaldo A. Cortez, you can send me an email to hvacrvideos@gmail.com if you're interested in working with me. So, been waiting for tool reviews for a minute. HVACR Logician. I will work on it, bud. They're going to be a little bit different, though. So I really haven't figured out at this point in time. I may change it later. Okay. I'll say this right now. At this point in time, my tool review channel is going to be, I'm going to be running it my way. Again, I may change it tomorrow, but today I will be buying all the tools. I will not be taking free tools on my channel. It will be tools that I'm interested in. So I'm not going to be reviewing stupid crap, not judging anybody else that does tool reviews, not judging them. Okay. It will be a channel. Again, I may change it later, but at this point in time, it's going to be something where I purchase the tools. So I'm only going to buy the things that are interesting to me, right? Because I'm having to put the money out. And if I don't like it, I'm stuck with it. So it's not going to be something where I'm going to be accepting free tools from manufacturers to try out. That's not what I'm interested in. Okay. At this point in time, again, I may change it later, but that's where I'm going with that one for now. So, on market refrigeration, you can make 40 plus an hour. Hell, on restaurant refrigeration, you can make 40 plus an hour, depending on if you're in a supervisor position. So, but yeah, for sure. Market refrigeration is another sector of this industry where you guys can really work your asses off, and you can make good money and do all kinds of crazy stuff working on CO2 and all kinds of cool things. So market refrigeration, there's all different sectors of this industry. So, so no Speedos or face tats, definitely no grindstone. So, Bill, I'm going to freaking kill you. If I get one Speedo picture, I swear, Bill, I'm going to blow your freaking Instagram up or whatever, dude. I'm going to kill you if I get Speedo pictures. All right, guys, throw some questions in the chat. Put them in caps lock. I'll definitely try to get to them. Thank you very much, Ultimax Fixation, for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate that, bud. All right. Throw your questions in caps lock. I'll definitely try to get to them. So, let me see what else. Yeah, really definitely hit the thumbs up button. It helps the channel. So, this video is brought to you by Harbor Freight. Hell no, Harbor Freight. No. When is the Q&A? What questions do you have, Jazzy? I'll answer questions right now, bud. You just got to put in the questions, and I'll answer them. Let me see. Good to make you laugh. Definitely. I'll be at the expo once I'm famous. Oh, Ernesto, yeah. All right. I don't think I'm really missing any more questions at this point. You look forward to growing this trade. How old are you? Scott Savage. I am 36 years old. I'll be 37 this year. So I was born in 83. Do I like the control side of the industry, Reefer Tech Mark? Sure. The control side seems very appealing to me. I don't quite know a whole lot about it, but I would think that if you are an HVAC technician, I think the perfect person to go into the control side would be someone like me that has a pretty good understanding, a half-assed decent understanding of the light commercial and residential side, and then the commercial side, and then you go into the controls side, I think I would excel at being a controls technician. So if anybody's like me that has a general understanding of refrigeration and air conditioning, you would be a perfect candidate, in my opinion, to go into the controls side because you understand how things could work. I know that there's some controls guys that have come from nowhere and just became a controls guy, and it's hard because they don't understand the concepts of why the evaporator fan motor needs to run or different things like that. So, all right, let's see. What am I missing here? Ice machine. Okay, so have I ever made a dangerous mistake when you were an apprentice? Hell, I've made dangerous mistakes when I was a full-on service technician. Yeah. Dangerous mistakes that I've made. I fell off a roof one time because I was climbing the ladder one-handed. That was not fun. I lucked out and landed on something somewhat soft and didn't break myself. That was a dangerous mistake that could have been fatal, right? Because I was in a rush and trying to rush up the ladder. Two hands your stuff, dude. Take a rope up with you. So now after that moment, I decided to start taking ropes up and roping my stuff up. It's no longer, I'm not in a rush anymore when it's trying to get up a ladder. There's all kinds of dangerous mistakes I've made. Do I like the control? I already answered that one. How do you ask your boss for a raise? You're feeling like you shouldn't ask. Ice machine rookie. Here's how you ask your boss for a raise. You evaluate. I mean, honestly, are you good at what you do? If you are, then I would suggest that you go to your boss and you say, hey, look, you know what? I would like to excel. I would like to do more for this company. I would like to make more money for this company, and I in turn would like to make more money. What do I have to do to earn more money? How can I help you to better this company to make more money? So instead of just asking your boss for something, ask your boss what you can do to make more money. That's the important question to ask your boss, okay? And then your boss may say, hey, you know what? At this point, you have some goals you need to reach before you can make more money. And then at least you know, okay? So just because you go talk to your boss about money doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to get a raise, but open the dialogue. Don't make it uncomfortable anymore. Make it a common thing that you talk about. Like, hey, I really want to achieve this goal. Can you set some goals for me to achieve? And then at that point, maybe I can get a raise, you know? So make it a something that's not uncomfortable anymore and make it a normal conversation. And then it becomes less uncomfortable. And obviously, hopefully you get more money. So let's see. Yeah. All right. Let me see. All right. Do I feel the skills gap is also due to more complexity, constant improvements, and changes in new technology? No, I don't think the skills gap is because of the complexity or complexity. Sorry, I'm slurring my words there a little bit. I don't think the skills gap is because of that. I definitely think it's not stopping people from getting in the industry, but it's making it hard to stay in the industry for sure. So Dallas, thank you very much, man, for that super chat. I really appreciate it, bud. But yeah, it definitely makes it harder for people to stay in the trade, but I don't think that that's creating the skills gap. No, but our industry definitely is very complex. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. Michael Bemko. First, think about all the reasons they might have to say no to your raise. Yeah, definitely. Think about how you can be better. Think about how you can better yourself. And then that's going to give you an idea what your boss might say to you, you know? So how high of a priority should physical fitness be for commercial refrigeration? That should be like your number one priority, dude. In the restaurant refrigeration side, you can't be a big guy. And if you are a big guy, again, there's some big guys out there that work, but it's really difficult because you got to work in the tight little tiny spaces. So physical fitness is a huge thing. I don't work out enough. I don't drink enough water. I don't eat healthy enough, but I definitely need to. Okay. I'm 36 years old. I weigh about 204 pounds and I'm about 5'10". So I'm a little bit overweight. I definitely have a belly going on. I need to work on my health. I need to work on my physical fitness. I'm not perfect. You know, I'm that middle-aged thing right now, so I'm definitely getting very comfortable with things, but I definitely need to work on it. And, you know, I'm already in the industry, but, you know, if you come in a big guy, you're going to have some hurdles to jump over, okay? Because I was climbing in an attic today. I was, you know, working on a ladder. I was doing all kinds of stuff, and you have to be able to climb in that stuff. It makes it very uncomfortable if you can't, so. Fastest way to make more money is change employers. If you're good, you can make top dollar faster. Weaver maintenance. Yeah, I mean, but dude, I think that I could see both sides of that one, Weaver Maintenance. I mean, change employers for sure. That's the fastest way to make more money. But is a new employer going to be greener than the other side, right? Because the grass is always greener on the other side. You know, maybe your company is lacking in your training. Maybe they're not motivated to excel. Maybe they're not growing. But also on the flip side, if you just jump ship, is it going to be better over there? That's a hard one, you know? So, all right, let's see what else. Really appreciate the thumbs up. Dallas, you had a Popeyes chicken sandwich. I still haven't done that. I haven't done that whole new Popeyes thing. So, Ike HVAC, thank you very much for that sticker, I think is what it is. I really appreciate that, bud. All right, let's see what I'm missing here. Fastest way. Okay, so I answered that one. All right, gentlemen. Will the field piece S-Man gauges upgrade to the new refrigerants? James Troy. What refrigerants are missing? There's you can go to Field Piece's website, and I'm sure they have a download where they upgrade the refrigerants. You have to download something onto them though, but Field Piece is usually on it. I think they have most of the refrigerants in their gauges. And if you have a really old set, maybe they have, you should reach out to Field Piece. Field Piece has one of the best customer service departments, and reach out to them. They're in Anaheim, California. Yeah, Anaheim, California. They're local to me. So I'm actually going to Field Piece on Wednesday to do something with them. But Thursday, I'm going to be working with them. Spoiler alert, I'm going to be filming a video with them. But yeah, that'll be coming soon too. So had to replace a head pressure control valve on a Bryant AC last Tuesday. The unit is rattling. Oh, okay. All right. Pile of poop. Yeah, definitely, Matt Sprinkle. Definitely, just depends on which pile of poop you want to stand in. That's a good point to work at it or look at it. So, have I ever thought about buying a FLIR camera for your iPhone, Tyler? Tyler, great question. This is a FLIR 1 Pro, Tyler. This is a FLIR C3, and this is a Seek Shot Pro. I'm gonna do reviews on the different thermal cameras. The one for your phone, and then the standalone cameras. It'll be on my new YouTube channel, HVACR Tools. I haven't promoted the channel yet, but I'm working on a video where I'll review those different ones, and I'll show them on that different channel, HVACR Tools on YouTube. So, again, I don't have any videos on there yet, but I will definitely do that. So, definitely hit the like button, guys. Do the Field Piece S-Man factor in refrigerant glide? Well, yeah, I mean, well, yes and no, because why would the gauges factor in refrigerant glide? I'm trying to think about that one right now, because the gauges are just going to give you a point in time. I mean, how would the gauges tell you the glide? They don't have something on there saying that this is the glide and this is how much the glide is, but they tell you what the saturation temperature at that point. I don't really understand that question, and I don't know how the Field Piece gauges would tell you the glide, because the whole glide is the difference between the saturation temperatures. So, yeah, that's a good question, bud. Send me an email to hvacrvideos@gmail.com and ask me that question a little bit more. Give me some more context to that one. So, yeah, Tyler, I've been talking about it forever. I've reviewed them before, but this time I bought all three, so I'm going to do a whole thing about them. So, all right, FLIR pics of the Speedos. Grindstone, you won't quit on that Speedo thing. Acidic foods voiding warranties. No Storm. I've never heard of that one, bud, but I definitely think I can see that. So, yeah, I try to evacuate as much as possible straight through my vacuum pump with my hoses in a independent micron gauge, as opposed to using my S-Mans. But I do on occasion use the S-Mans on certain situations where I'll use the micron gauge and the S-Mans. But it's best to have the micron gauge isolated from your gauges as much as possible. So, do I work on any mini splits? Yeah, I work on mini splits every once in a blue moon. So, HVACR Survival. God damn it, Rick. I totally forgot your YouTube channel. That's one of the YouTube channels, guys, that I highly suggest you guys. I was thinking your old YouTube channel earlier. I was telling different YouTube channels that I was talking about, and I couldn't remember yours. I was going to say Northwest Ohio, but that's not your YouTube channel anymore. So it's HVACR Survival, guys. Rick is in the chat right now. Definitely subscribe to Rick's channel and check it out for sure. He makes awesome videos just like I do. So good dude. So, all right, guys, at this point, I am rambling for no reason. I'm going to go ahead and end this. I really, really appreciate you guys coming in here. Thank you so very much for the memberships that you guys, the people that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much for the super chats. You guys are awesome. Again, I don't require that of you guys. I make these videos. That's just another way you could support if you guys wanted to. Really, really appreciate you guys. Hopefully, I'll be see you guys on the next one, which will be next Monday, Monday night, 5 p.m. Pacific time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so we'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm gonna queue up the outro music and go ahead and change this over and cue this up. Here we go. Thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it.